So we never got to talk to you after full time in Cardiff, and I wanted to get your big picture thoughts on where Ireland are. So certainly there was a bravery to the performance and there was a roll up their sleeves quality, but in terms, say, of a sign of progress as a first outing in 2021, what did you take away from the game?
I think it was really difficult to assess because we really only have 10 minutes to look at and see what Ireland were doing and how they were progressing. They then had to revert to a reduced game plan, as they should have, to stop the bleed, as it were, and that was nearly enough to beat the Welsh team. But I did think we saw a couple of traits that may very much be where Andy Farrell wants to move the team. Now, the prevailing wisdom at the moment in international rugby is if you kick more, you're going to have more success, and Eddie Jones certainly has spoken about that a number of times. I think Andy Farrell may be embracing that. We saw a huge amount of kicking in that first 10 minutes, predominantly from 9, 10, but we're looking at the role of James Lowe as well. He kicked a huge amount of ball, and I think we're going to see that continue through the Six Nations, and particularly tomorrow against France. I think will kick a lot of ball, and almost predominantly up until the 40-metre line. Once they get into that, then they change their plan a little bit. But up to then, I think it's going to be low risk. It's going to be play the ball down in the opposition half and in the 40, aside from maybe set moves as well. Set piece at halfway is a really good platform for attack, and I think Ireland will still go after that. Then the other thing that we saw was when they did get into that 40, slightly more width on the game, and they were using a link between forwards and backs, and it's one of the key reasons I think Tadhg Beirne was picked. I think it was a reason why he has Tadhg Furlong in the team, and I think there's in the squad, and I think there'll be a big onus today on CJ and Rhys Ruddock to be that link man in the midfield to try and get the second wave of backs or second wave of attack around the corner, and I think that is progress. So I don't know how much of that we're going to see tomorrow because of the injury situation and the removal of 3 really core leaders in the team. It may be a more reduced game plan again, more similar to what we saw when they were down to 14 men. But in that first 10 minutes, for what it's worth, I think we saw some progress.
The Guinness Six Nations Championship, live on Virgin Media One and Virgin Media Player.